What is going on, my bourbon and boxing fans, man? Welcome back to another episode of Bourbon and Boxing. I'm your host, Jeff, man. Once again, a fun filled, amazing week of boxing. We're almost all the way through the year, and boxing just keeps giving us gift after gift, baby. And we just got to take it and we got to run with it, man. Shakur Stevenson versus De Los Santos, and then Navarrete versus Concession. I'm telling you guys, these are two big banger fights on the same day, same night, same channel, baby. You ain't got to jump back and forth. It's all right there for you. So join me on episode 30 of Bourbon and Boxing, baby, where we're going to break down these two fights, and we're also going to talk a little bit of Pro Boxing TV, which I watched tonight, watching again on a rerun. Man, I'll tell you what, these guys just keep stepping it up, man. A great addition to boxing, and we got to continue to support Pro Box TV, guys, because they're doing a hell of a job. Two big cards every month. Another big card tonight. We'll get into that and much, much more with some big, big news announced today out of Saudi Arabia, baby. So join me for that and much more on Bourbon and Boxing, baby. First, let's get to what we're drinking on. Weird thing is, a friend of mine at work, Aaron, was telling me about this Uncle Nearest. I don't know if you guys, my stuff's a little bright there. It's hard to see the name of it. But this stuff here, guys, it won the 2020, 2021, and 2022 bourbon, best-selling bourbon of the year. Now, me and my wife just took a shot of it because, it's, the the lady at work hyped it up. Uh, the hype on it, the sell of it was, hey, this is some good stuff. It's absolutely amazing, guys. Unbelievably good, man. And it's called Uncle Nearest 1884. This brand is. I don't know if you guys can. Some reason I seem to be having some kind of glare there. I guess that's. There we go. Try to get the best picture of it I can, man. This stuff is absolutely amazing, guys. We're going to take a shot of this, and why we do that, let's talk about our sponsor on the show, guys. Brown Family Construction, guys. They're amazing. For any of your construction needs in the northern Kentucky or Cincinnati area, you got to hit up Brown Family Construction, man, where they treat you like family. The name says it all. Brown Family Construction. Once again, Jason Brown is the guy you'll get a hold of. You can find all that information on Facebook, or you can find it at the end of my show where I drop it every day because we're loyal to our guys, man, and they're good at what they do. And I won't put my name out there for many people, but this is a great company, guys. Give them a shot. All right, guys. Man, we got to definitely toast this week of boxing. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Uh, I'm telling you, we're in for a hell of a show tomorrow night. I don't know how many of you got to work on Friday morning. I know I do. I don't know how many of the rest of y'all do, but if you're a true, true boxing fan, you're going to be tired. You're going to be really tired. I know I got to be up at 6 a.m. I'm already kicking myself in the ass, but I'm not missing a single beat, a single minute of either of these fights. That's 100% for sure. Navarrete and Shakur are two of my favorite fighters. I've been a Navarrete fan for a really long time, advocating him on how good he is. I think this is setting up a fight that we're going to talk about, guys. All right, let's take this shot and get episode 30 going. Thank you for joining me, guys. Now, that is pretty smooth, guys. Pretty smooth. All right, man. Let's jump into it. There's no going around it. Well, actually, what I'm going to jump into first is we're going to talk a little bit of pro boxing. Pro Boxing TV, to be uh, exact. This is, I don't know how new this company is, how new they're not. I know I just recently, within the last couple months, have come across them, and I really like what I see with the commentary and the cards that they put on. They're not putting the biggest names, but they're putting really, really great fight cards on with really good fighters that are out there hungry and ready to make a name, man. And every second Wednesday, every couple Wednesdays, they put on a fight card where I find it on YouTube myself. Uh, and I have to give these guys a shout out. Once again tonight, a hell of a fight card. Three really good fights. We got to see a nice little knockout, I think, in the first fight. And then the main card, which was, who was the guy's name? Shram versus Gonzalez. That was a hell of a fight, guys. Gonzalez pulled out the win, and what many people might have said, Shram might have won that fight. I leaned towards Shram because I thought he really took over at the end of that fight, the last rounds of it. I knew what he was doing. Gonzalez is a tough guy. 32 or 33 wins, 33 knockouts. So this guy is a power puncher, so you got to watch his punches, all that stuff. Shram did a good job on weathering the storm. He got him past the fifth round, which Gonzalez has never been past, and then you seen Gonzalez start to get gas. Shram started picking it up. I thought he could have won the fight, but you can't be mad at the decision to give it to Gonzalez, who fought a hell of a first round of a fight. Great power on him, but he just couldn't land a punch to hurt Shram, but he still ended up getting the decision. Great fight. Great main event by Pro Boxing. Once again, man, shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing, guys. You are great. I want to advocate you guys because I think you're really great for the sport of boxing. You got Paulie, I'm just going to say Paulie, Chris, and I can't remember the other guy. But Paulie and Chris, man, two former fighters who really know their shit. And when they're talking from a boxer's point of view and a commentator's point of view. So they're not just being biased in one way. They're giving you the view from both sides. And that's what I think I like most about these guys, man, and what I'm more impressed about anything. And overall is the commentary, the shows you can catch through the week. They got Teddy Atlas on there with them now, doing shows with them. And just absolutely amazing work from these guys. And anybody I didn't mention on ProBox, my apology. Everybody on there is doing an amazing job. Every 2 weeks, you're getting great, great fights, guys. We got to continue to support it. I saw it get up to 3,000 views tonight, guys. 3,000 views, people watching it. That's what I love seeing. Hit that like button on it. Share it. Do what you need to do because I think Pro Boxing TV is really great for boxing, and it's a great platform for young, or not even just young, hungry fighters, just fighters who haven't had a chance to prove themselves on a bigger level. Pro Boxing is giving them that opportunity, man. And when I tell you you're watching great fights, good fighters, that's what you're going to get, man. And so far, I haven't been disappointed. Hats off to ProBox TV. You guys are doing a great job. Continue to do what you're doing, man. And I'll continue to tune into you guys, man. Send me a shirt, guys. I'll put it on. I'll support you guys on my show. I'll rep you guys 100%, man. Send me a t-shirt, a hat, anything, bro. I'll rep it for you guys. You see, I like wearing hats, man. I'll rep you guys all around town, man. I love Pro Boxing TV. Great job by you guys. But let's move on from that, man, and move into what is the main card is coming up this week. Now, we got some good boxing coming up this week, and I'll get into the other fights on Friday night when I do my Friday night show. But this show is for what I call the big, big dogs. Shakur Stevenson, De Los Santos. That fight coming up, man. That's everybody. Now, I don't know much about De Los Santos. I'm a big, big Shakur advocate. And I've said it in the past. You can watch my shows. I've called him the future of boxing, the face of boxing, man. The kid is very smart when he's in the ring. He's very calculated, and he's a great fighter. Everybody's saying this is not a easy win fight for Shakur, that he's going to be tested, that De Los Santos has a little bit of power on him, and that Shakur's got to watch out, that this is a 50-50 fight. When I hear that coming from the mouths of, ProBox TV and, hearing it come from a guy like Teddy Atlas, who's also saying, hey, man, this guy, he's not a pushover. This is going to be a tough fight for Shakur. I take it as that. I think Shakur is a very tough fighter, and if he's going to really, really show everybody how good he really is, this is a good stage to do that on. This is a great night tomorrow to show his skill level, to show that he's a pound-for-pound fighter. He goes out there and he embarrasses a guy like De Los Santos, which I don't know if he's going to do that. But if he does, then he's putting himself out there as the possible one or two top lightweight contenders. I think him or Tank should definitely be holding the belts. When you're watching Crawford get stripped of his belt by the IBF, And then, you see Shakur or Charlo got stripped of his belt when he moved up to fight Canelo. When does Haney have to give his belts up? He's up in the 140 pounds now, fighting Regis Prograde, and there's a ton of fights up there for him. So will he be able to even come down to fight back at lightweight at 135? And he's wasting a lot of time. Get those belts up, man. There's too much talent in the lightweight division to hold up those belts. Guys like Shakur, Tank, Zapata, these guys should be fighting for the belts, man. They should be out there and available for these guys if they're not fighting Haney and he's not willing to come down and fight them and he's going up to fight. It can't. It's so one-sided in boxing, and I don't want to get off course, but with the stripping of the Crawford's belt, it just shows the one-sidedness when you got the WBC allowing a guy to keep the belt who hasn't fought in 3 years, and he's going to come back and fight a non-title fight in Charlo. And WBC's allowing that, and then the IBF is stripping a guy who just not even August, September, October, 4 months ago, fought for the unification of that division, and you're going to strip him 4 months later, saying that he won't fight Boots. That's horseshit, guys. And that's where boxing reform comes in, all that shit. We'll get in that another time, man. There's too much to talk about on this show right now as far as the fights coming up tomorrow, man. And that's what we're going to stick to. I got to put that paper down. I'm winging it everywhere. Look at me. I'm like the, Jojo the Idiot Circus Boy. I got a biscuit in my hand. But anyways, guys, I see this fight coming up as Shakur's opportunity to really showcase who he is, what he can do, and to put his name out there as the top lightweight contender. Number one, mandatory for anybody. Tank, anybody. We got to start seeing Tank fight these bigger fights. I know he can sell tickets regardless who he fights, but come on, guys. Aren't we tired of seeing him fight half-ass fights? We want to see Tank in a big, big fight. We know. I don't question Tank. I know fucking Tank's good. Excuse my language. I don't question Tank at all. When most people might go, well, he hasn't fought anybody. He doesn't have to fight anybody for me to see how good Tank really is. Tank's a special, special fighter. He should be the champ in that lightweight division. No questions asked. But anyways, De Los Santos look, man, like I said, I don't know much about him. People are saying he's got some power. He's a tough fighter. He's no pushover. So I expect us to see a great fight tomorrow night, man. But I suspect that Shakur is going to take him into deep waters, wear him down, and then eventually, because Shakur's probably going to fight on his back foot most of the night. But then later in the rounds, he's going to start to come forward, break him down. Once he figures him out, that's when I think he'll take over. I take Shakur in the fight. Let's say 8 rounds, Shakur with a stoppage. Maybe I'm dead wrong on that because De Los Santos is a tough guy. But I'm going to take Shakur in a stoppage later rounds. All right, now let's get over to Navarrete versus Conceição, which is on the same exact card. This is setting up what I'm talking about is going to be the fight of the year in 2024, guys. And you guys aren't listening to me. I've been telling you guys for show and after show and after show, at least 3 shows now, what's coming in 2024. It's going to be a hell of a year for boxing. We thought, and with the announcement today, guys, come on, man, boxing, it's going to be hard to top this year, period. But I think 2024 has a great opportunity to continue to do that, to one-up what they did this year. But I think this Navarrete versus Conceição fight, I take Navarrete easily. Not overlooking Conceição because he's a great fighter, and he shows spurts of greatness, but then he stops. He doesn't fight a full fight, in my opinion, or he just doesn't come out to fight at all. I've seen him in, against, who was it Navarrete just beat? God darn it. Valdez. All right. I've seen him against Oscar Valdez where he looked absolutely fabulous in the first 4 or 5 rounds of that fight. He was winning the fight. But then for some reason, when it got to the 6th round, he backed off, started dancing around, jiggling, doing all this and that. Conceição and Valdez started to become more the aggressor and started hitting and landing punches. And Conceição lost that fight, but he lost it because of his own stupidity of not continuing to fight. For some reason, he thought 5 rounds was good enough for him to win that fight. It's a 12-round fight. I don't feel like he fights a full fight, and that's what hurts him. He's going to quit at some point, But what point is it? Are you going to get this concession that doesn't even really come out to fight? Are you going to get the concession that's on fire, ready to fight you for the first 4, 5, 6 rounds, and then he's going to stop? So that's why I think Navarrete wins this fight easily. I think he wins it by stoppage. I'm going to say under 6 rounds. So if you're a betting man, maybe under 6 rounds is some money. I don't know what the money line is on it. Of course, Navarrete is the favorite, but maybe you can make your money on early rounds, whatever. I think under 6 for Navarrete, who is just, I just think he's way above Concession as far as talent. He's so unorthodox that it's really hard to get yourself ready to fight a guy like Navarrete when you don't know what's coming, because he kind of goes out there and he fights, man. When somebody's just naturally good at something, like LeBron James is at basketball, Michael Jordan was at basketball, these guys who just naturally are good at what they do. And no matter what they do, they're just going to naturally be good at it. Navarrete is that guy in boxing. He doesn't fight the way you want a guy to fight. He doesn't train the way you want a guy to fight. But he's just a natural fighter. And that doesn't always win you fights, man. It doesn't always make you the best fighter. But his style is completely different from anything you're going to see. So if you're going to tune in, and this is the first time you're going to watch Navarrete, you're going to be super impressed with this guy. I've been impressed with him for years. I've been advocating him for years on being the best 130 guy out there, and he could come up to 135 now with that super belt title, which I think is coming, guys. It's coming. Navarrete versus Shakur Stevenson. That's what this is going to set up. That's what I've been kind of leading up to, guys, is that's what I think is coming in 2024. I think this fight right here, Shakur versus De Los Santos, and then Navarrete versus Concession, is setting up a mega fight between Shakur and Navarrete. I'm hearing Foster, Shaki Foster is talking about coming up, and he wants to fight Navarrete. That's a good fight, but Shakur versus Navarrete is a way better fight. We saw both of them fight Oscar Valdez. Both beat Oscar kind of convincingly, but I felt Navarrete beat him a little bit worse. He beat him. He beat the brakes off Valdez. Valdez not taking any heart or anything away from Valdez's performance in that fight, but Navarrete beat the brakes off of him. And not saying Shakur didn't hand him a ass whooping. He did. But I think that Navarrete-Shakur fight, now you want to talk 50-50. I don't think it's 50-50. I'm going to say it here on Bourbon and Boxing. If that fight happens, I favor Navarrete. I've been telling you guys about Navarrete for years now, over 3 years, talking about this guy, telling people about him. He is different. And not saying, and I've advocated as Shakur as a face of boxing in the future. And Shakur is a very special fighter. And this fight, I'm telling you, it would be the fight of the year. Absolutely fight of the year, no matter if it happened early 2024 or if it happens mid-2024 or later in 2024. It will be the fight of the year. You heard it first here on Bourbon and Boxing, man. You heard it here. The fight of the year, Shakur Stevenson versus Navarrete. They're setting it up for you guys tomorrow night. You're seeing it set up. I guarantee those announcers are going to ask Shakur or Navarrete after his fight, hey, what's your thoughts on fighting Shakur Stevenson? And they're going to ask Shakur at the end of his fight, what's your thoughts on fighting Navarrete? That fight is going to happen. It is bound to happen. It's a big, big money fight, possibly a pay-per-view fight. I would pay to see that fight. And if you're a true boxing fan, you're going to pay to see that fight also. But that's my opinion, man, on that. And let's move on because I don't want to make this show too long because we had a huge, huge, huge announcement today with what over there in Saudi Arabia. They have put together an event. Let's see what the name of this is. Day of Reckoning is what they have called it, guys. Day of Reckoning. Now, once again, this is a setup event, guys. We have another this weekend. Tomorrow, you're going to have a setup event. Shakur, De Los Santos, Navarrete, Concession for Shakur and Navarrete in 2024. Saudi Arabia has put together December 23rd an event that's just, I mean, Anthony Joshua, Wilder, Babal, Parker. I mean, names, Wallen. I mean, Anthony Joshua versus Wallen, Wilder versus Parker, Dubai versus yeah, Jared Miller. You're gonna have also Babal versus Arthur. You're gonna also get Herbert versus Demore. You're gonna get Opiati versus Zorro. One night, all in one night, guys. Now I know a lot of people. If you're hearing this, you're going AJ versus Wallen and Wilder versus Parker. Why not AJ versus Wilder as the main header of that? AJ's going to be, I think, the main event on it. Wilder being the co-main event. But they won't be fighting each other. And you know why? Because Saudi Arabia is not dumb, guys. They're very smart. I see what's coming, guys. Great announcement. I applaud that. December 23rd. You guys are going to end boxing with a bang. With a bang. You know, when a guy hasn't blown in a really, really long time, guys, and he finally gets that chance, and he just explodes, right? Excuse my, euphemism, but that's what boxing, this December 23rd event has done for boxing. It's going to end it with a bang that you can't even describe. The year we've had, and I'm going to do a whole show about this year in boxing. You could do a documentary on this year in boxing. It's just been amazing. But without getting too in depth in that and ruining an episode that I want to make, this December 23rd, okay, AJ and Wallen, Wilder versus Parker. Now we know Wilder. I think Wilder's going to easily beat Parker. I don't think that's much of a fight. Wilder is better than Parker, in my opinion. His power is just too overwhelming. AJ versus Wallen is a tough fight for AJ because Wallen's not a pushover. He's a good fighter. Okay? Sorry, bourbon. Regurgitation, burps, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But Wallen is a pretty good fighter. So it won't be a pushover fight for AJ. But I think AJ can win that fight. And you take AJ winning the fight against Wallen. Wilder wins the fight against Parker. Now, I don't care about the other fights. I like the Babal versus Arthur fight. Dubai. I'm not real big on Dubai. I hope Miller smashes his ass in. But I do like Hergovic. It would have been nice if they could have got Zhang on this. Hergovic versus Zhang 2. Because you remember, guys, the only top 10 guy that Zhang has faced outside of Joe Joyce, the overrated Joe Joyce, was Hergovic, who he lost to. So that would have been a great opportunity to put Hergovic versus Zhang 2 and giving Zhang the opportunity to redeem himself against Hergovic. But anyways, that didn't happen. But what I think is going to happen is Fury versus Usyk has been set for February 17th. Once again, in Saudi Arabia, they're putting up all this money. But what's going to happen is they want AJ to win. They want Wilder to win. And you're going to get an AJ versus Wilder undercard on the Fury versus Usyk. You heard it first here on Bourbon and Boxing, guys. Don't you guys leave me hanging. When you're out there and you think, man, you see it. When you see after the beginning of the year, after this December 23rd event happens, if AJ wins and Wilder wins, when you see Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder as the undercard co-main event to the Fury versus Usyk, you heard it here first on Bourbon and Boxing, baby. I'm dropping you 2 dimes today on my show. Shakur versus Navarrete in 2024. AJ versus Wilder on the undercard of Fury versus Usyk. You heard it first here on Bourbon and Boxing, baby. Don't leave me hanging. When you hear it, send my love and say, hey, he told us so, baby. He told us. All right, guys, man. I don't want to ramble on too much. It's a Wednesday. I'm off work Thursday. I normally don't drink my bourbon through the week. I'm lying. I drank Monday. I drank Tuesday. Not a lot, but I had a few shots. So this will be my third shot tonight. I'm going to take a third shot. I'm going to take my last shot with you guys. We're going to wrap this show up. Once again, thank you for joining me on Bourbon and Boxing, episode 30. I'm your host, Jeff. Like, subscribe, check out my group on Facebook, Bourbon and Boxing, where I try to post daily schedules, news, results, anything like that, guys. I absolutely love boxing. And if you love boxing, you got to join me on my show where the drink is bourbon and the talk is boxing, baby. That's what we do here, man. And I love what I do. I say we, it's only me. There's no turd in my pocket. There's nobody else here with me. It's just me. But look, I love it, man. And this is what I love to do. So thank you for anybody joining me. Got 26 subscribers now. I know that's, woo, look at this guy. He's going somewhere. Woo. I know you guys are secretly laughing at my ass. But look, I got a new subscriber today. Made me feel good. It makes me feel good to see that people are watching my show, man. It's up and down like a fucking roller coaster, but I'm going to keep going with it because it's bourbon and boxing, and I love doing it, man. And like I said, I want to thank you guys for joining me. Let's take this shot together, and I'm going to quit rambling on, guys. Quit wasting your valuable time. Whoop. All right, guys. Once again, man, episode 30. I'm your host, Jeff. This is Bourbon and Boxing, baby. Like, subscribe, join, whatever you want to do, man. Comment below. We'll conversate together, guys. Thank you so much for joining me once again.